For decades, corporate cybersecurity relied entirely on the castle and moat model. You built a rigid, physical firewall around your local network, and if the data stayed inside, it was safe. That physical perimeter no longer exists. Today's enterprise network is scattered across remote workers and coffee shops, multiple overlapping clouds, and personal mobile devices. Because the network is quite literally everywhere, the boundary line has collapsed inward. The new perimeter is the digital identity of the user. In a borderless digital world, verifying the human behind the screen is the only viable defense mechanism an enterprise has left. To manage those humans, Identity and Access Management, or IAM, asks two immediate questions the moment someone tries to connect. Who are you, to authenticate, and exactly what systems are you permitted to touch, to authorize? This enforces the principle of least privilege. The user is granted the exact access required to execute their specific job role, and absolutely nothing more. The real risk begins when a highly cleared worker leaves the company. Failing to immediately strip that access, a process known as deprovisioning, transforms a dormant account into a high-privilege entry point for lateral movement across the internal network. Securing human identity life cycles is a complex, continuous operation. Yet this entire infrastructure is merely the baseline requirement for modern security. Traditional identity systems rely on four pillars: administration, authentication, authorization, and audit. Those pillars were built specifically for people. Today, humans are no longer the only entities logging into the network. Autonomous AI agents are now executing complex workflows on our behalf. This creates what engineers call the last mile problem. When an AI agent connects to a corporate database using a generic API key, the original human context and intent vanish right before the connection is made. That loss of context creates a strategic gap in your zero-trust architecture. The security system can see that an agent is requesting data, but it has no way to verify if the human who triggered the agent actually has authorization to see it. Without that clear chain of custody, overprivileged AI agents can trigger runaway infinite execution loops or execute unauthorized data deletions across live systems without the audit logs ever showing a human requester. Traditional identity systems have no defense against unsecured AI. As a result, the most sensitive corporate data is left vulnerable to automated breaches. This slide details Treecapital's Anven AI. It acts as a cognitive layer engineered explicitly to solve this agentic trust gap for the enterprise. Here are the terminal commands to download and verify the system. Anven is a sovereign, RAG-native model operating inside an air-gapped private cloud. Because it deploys locally, it integrates directly with existing IAM security vaults, ensuring data never leaves the network. Instead of relying on long-lived shared keys, the system issues short-term, tightly scoped credentials specifically for its AI agents. This credentialing mechanism forces the AI agent to respect the same identity boundaries, governance, and access limits as the human user it represents. By keeping the intelligence in-house, sovereign architectures successfully close that last-mile gap, restoring zero trust to the automated enterprise. Marrying strict identity management with sovereign AI redefines how highly regulated global industries handle automated decision-making and data privacy. In healthcare, AI can now safely process patient diagnostics because the identity system guarantees the agent only interacts with authorized, anonymized personal information. In finance, banks deploy Anven for high-speed fraud detection within air-gapped environments. The AI hunts for anomalies without ever risking the exposure of core financial records. In government and defense, agencies use these models to safely analyze classified archives, relying on immutable audit trails to track every single action taken by both human and machine. These critical sectors are adopting AI right now because sovereign architectures guarantee their compliance and their security. To survive the digital age, a modern enterprise must embrace identity as its singular, absolute perimeter. Notice the completely filled download progress bar shown on this terminal interface. By utilizing secure on-premise frameworks like Anven, businesses free themselves from big tech cloud exposure and achieve true data autonomy. Ultimate security no longer relies on physical walls, but on maintaining granular, cryptographically verified control over every entity, whether human or machine, requesting access to your proprietary data.